Listen, I don't know what happened right there. No idea what just happened. Why I just dropped the stream like that. Oh, but we're gonna have to hopefully edit this up and get it right. Let me go back a minute. We're not that far into it.
I don't worry about that. I think that's why the White House has decided that they would just violate, well, I mean, they consistently violate the law, but we know that this is absolutely a violation of the Hatch Act. And so they are trying to make sure that they can place blame, because the reality is that they control the White House, they control the House, they control the Senate. And typically, when you are an adult in politics, you sit down and you work together to come up with a solution. And right now, Democrats are trying to make sure that the CBO, or the Congressional Budget Office, doesn't have to estimate how many more deaths are going to come at the hands of Republicans who refuse to make sure that people in this country can have health care. There seems to be a theme. Yes, we will get rid of your health care so that we can go and bail out Argentina. Yes, we will get rid of your food that is on your table, whether we're talking about the farmers who are not going to be able to put food on our tables because there are record bankruptcies that they are filing right now, or if we're talking about SNAP benefits. Like, they seemingly, it is a matter of, we've got the king and he's just all about eating his cake, and don't worry about the poor little peasants. But that's where we are right now.
You've talked about the benefits of SNAP before. You've talked about your concerns about cuts to the program. Do you think come Saturday, when people don't have that access, millions of Americans who need that and rely on it, that they will say, okay, this fight for healthcare premiums that you're fighting for Obamacare subsidies, that is still worth it if they're not able to get that money? Do you think that that's the calculus they'll make?
I do think that they'll make that calculus. It'd be different if we were fighting for, you know, a random plant in a specific part of the country. But at the end of the day, we're talking about the very basics. Like, it is really sad when you are in a country that is not a third world country and people are basically begging their government to do the basics. We're not talking about luxuries. It should not be a luxury that you get $6 a day, right, to eat. Like, that should not be a luxury. And we should be looking at the fact that there are funds available and he is choosing not to use those funds. Or when you start to talk about your big billionaire friends as you're continuing to violate laws, why is it that you're not looking out for people that are hungry? Why aren't you looking at the fact that rural America overwhelmingly voted for Donald Trump, and rural America uses more SNAP benefits than urban America? I mean, like, these are your voters, right? So, like, why aren't you doing those things? So I think that the question should be, which party is truly about being pro-life? Which party is truly about the entirety of the United States? And which party is really more patriotic? I would say that he is a party of him and other rich people and nobody else. And I'm hoping that all Americans can finally wake up and say, we are going to prioritize ourselves. We are going to look for people that maybe we don't think they're super funny or super entertaining, but they will not try to deal death to us with every single policy that they hand out. And ultimately, if people end up going hungry because SNAP benefits end up drying up, this is just a preview of what is going to happen as relates to what they did in the big ugly bill.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of questions about what happens when the bill that the House passed to go through the end of November runs out, what that looks like. And the president was talking to reporters on Air Force One today. He had a lot to say in that. We're going to show people that during the show because he talked about a third term. He talked about his recent visit to Walter Reed, but he also brought you up at one point while he was speaking with reporters. I want everyone to listen to what he said about you.
There you go.
They have Jasmine Crockett, a low IQ person. They have AOC's low IQ. You give her an IQ test, have her pass like the exams that I decided to take when I was at Walter Reed. Those are very hard, they're really aptitude tests, I guess, in a certain way, but they're cognitive tests. Let AOC go against Trump. Let Jasmine go against Trump. I don't think Jasmine, the first couple of questions are easy, a tiger, an elephant, a giraffe, you know. when you get up to about 5 or 6, and then when you get up to 10 and 20 and 25, they couldn't come close to answering any of those questions.
It was a question about not ruling out a third term, but what's your reaction to what the president said there?
Petty.
Listen, I'm waiting on a reporter, and maybe it'll be you, Caitlin, that finally ask him what is his IQ, because he is constantly talking about he doesn't even know what a low IQ is. He don't even know which scores are low, and I can guarantee you that whatever score, if he's taken one anytime recently, I'm sure that his qualifies as low. Listen, he's never been known to be an Einstein. This is not a guy who got in on merit when it came to going to college. This is someone who, but for him being born with a silver spoon, probably wouldn't have got into anybody's institution, unlike me. So, I am not worried about that, and I wish people would look at the fact that you have a president of the United States who consistently is obsessing over 2 women of color that are members of the House.
He loved black women in MAGA
hats.
hats.
President. You have a lot more power than we do, but obviously you consistently feel threatened, and that is why we have seen the attacks on black women in general from this administration. I don't know what black woman hurt him in his past, honey, but it is really taking him through it. But I really wish, for the sake of this country and honestly for the sake of the world, that he would focus on his real job and stop worrying about me. My constituents will worry about whether or not I have an adequate IQ, even though that's not the test that he's taking. And it's up to them to decide. It's not him. He can't hire me or fire me, unfortunately for him.
Ooh, damn. Well, damn.
Clock it.
Well, damn. I was waiting for the clapback. I thought she was going to bring in the law degrees or the 2 bars. Go ahead, pass some bars like me. But nah, she dropped some bars on DT. Boy, that's crazy. That's crazy right there. Hey.
Clock it.
Hey. That's one thing I'll say. In a debate, Jasmine Crockett versus Trump in a hard down debate. Listen, that'll be better than that No Limit Cash Money versus. I bet that. I bet that'll be the best versus out here. Please invite your boy, because I just want to moderate. I ain't even gonna hold him back. We ain't ask no questions. Just go at it. Argue straight up. Just go. Anyway, man, let's finish this up. The Trump live.
And as it relates to a third term,
Go ahead.
people need to listen to what he's saying. They need to listen to that, because that is a very scary thing. It is unconstitutional. I do think he's being serious. He has hats that are made. He's starting to get people primed for this. There are people that are riding around and wrapping vehicles with Trump 2028. This is a serious threat. We know that he didn't want to leave the House last time, and that's why we ended up with January 6th. So no, people need to think about this seriously and understand that the people around him consistently break the law, and the Supreme Court has said that, yeah, he has immunity. So, I don't know how they will rule on whether or not he gets immunity when he does something and he is not duly elected, because there are no third terms in this country. But we really need to be concerned, especially as his friends are the ones buying things such as Dominion.
Listen, hold on, go back here. Get this. Give me a good face. Okay, that's a straight face. Listen, my girl's gonna clap back every time. I love it. I love it because Trump talking about IQ, low IQ individuals. At the same time, she passed 2 bars. I know some pretty smart lawyers. Come on now, you can't just test well. We're gonna go to Pete Hegseth live in Japan.
Just get him out of the way.
Yeah. That's Hegseth live. I'll mute him for a second, right? Let me switch this over so I can get my shit right for everybody, because Big Trump is gonna be on the screen real soon. Now, Trump is live on a tour of Asia right now, but they are on the USS George Washington aircraft carrier in Japan. I'm going to shut up, get to the Secretary of War, and I was about to log off, but clearly Trump on, so the numbers should run up. Y'all tap in.
It's revolutionary. He's reminding the country and our adversaries that we're going to put America first. How about that? Now, that doesn't mean America alone. We have our allies like we do here in Japan, incredible allies where we have 55,000 American troops and we stand shoulder to shoulder with them. part of being strong is putting America and Americans first. It also means, on that banner, peace through strength. It means reestablishing deterrence. When you've lost it, it's important to reestablish it. President Trump has done that, from the Houthis and opening up our shipping lanes. When you just give away shipping lanes to pirates, that creates problems. He showed up and said no more. Or Iran's pursuit of a nuclear bomb, and he said, how about we send B-2s, 37 hours, over to take care of that, to ensure that they don't have a nuclear bomb. Or how about defending our own shores? 0 people crossing our border right now, because for too long we had an invasion of folks, and we don't know who they are, where they're coming from, crossing our borders, poisoning our communities with drugs. I would not want to be in a drug boat in the Caribbean right now. It's about time we defend our own homeland, and we will do that. So it's America first, it's peace through strength, but it's also common sense. You hear it and you see it all the time. I have the pleasure of watching President Trump on a daily basis in private meetings and meeting with foreign leaders as we're planning. And the application of common sense, as you know, is not all that common in Washington, D.C. Well, when you apply it, it makes sense and you get things done. And one of those things we're doing at the Department of War, welcome to the War Department, is we're applying common sense. We're getting back to basics. It's actually, again, not that complicated.
Oh, that's a
We're going to
fucking
ensure that
on,
we train, that we're equipped, that we hold people accountable, that we maintain discipline, that we focus on lethality and readiness and war fighting. All the types of things that you signed up to do. Now, for too long, in a previous administration, or iterations of administrations, there was a phrase, it's the dumbest phrase in military history. And that phrase is, our diversity is our strength. You see, I look out at this crowd and I see a lot of diverse faces. A lot of faces, black, brown, white, and otherwise. From small towns, from big cities, rich, poor. I don't know you and you don't know me. But I don't look at you and see who you are based on the color of your skin. I look at you as a fellow American who bleeds red. Our strength is not our diversity. Our strength is our common purpose. Our strength is our unity. Our strength is our mission. Our strength is our oath to the Constitution that we will defend each other. That's our strength. That's what the world sees. That's what I saw inside my platoon. That's what I see across this beautiful ship. Incredible Americans, the real 1%. Forget about the elites and the 1%, Hollywood and Wall Street and all that. The real 1% are the Americans who are willing to put the uniform on, fight for something greater than themselves, the prime of their life.
Quietly, I may go take a smoke break and come back till Big Trump get on.
Here you are, away from your
Hold
country,
on, we're gonna see.
away from your
Hold on, I'll be
family,
back.
away from your community.
Y'all stay here. I'll be back.
Serving your nation. We owe you to get back to basics to allow you to do your job. And the response of America and young Americans has been incredible. Recruiting, as President Trump said a year ago, they couldn't get anybody to sign up. Now we can't push enough people through basic training because of the excitement of young Americans who want to do exactly what you're doing. Be proud of what you're doing. Stand up straight. You are, when I see those eyes, I see the eyes of American deterrence. You are reestablishing the peace through strength that was lost. It's not the machines, it's not the ships, it's not the planes, it's the great Americans who stand their ground every single day. I look out at a lot of you, man, I see some young faces. I see eyes that look a lot like my oldest son who's 50. And let me tell you, if he made the same decision you made at that age, man, I'd be proud. I don't know if he ever will. I don't know if he's had the guts to do it. Maybe. Don't tell him. I think he does. But I see the best of America here, and I'm proud. We are proud at the Department of War to serve you. Our job is to have your back. And that's something President Trump asked me to tell the troops everywhere we go. That's all I ever wanted when I was a young platoon leader, is to know that my leader, my company commander, my battalion commander, my brigade commander, division commander, you name it, squad leader, would have my back when we do difficult, dangerous things in the dead of night where you can make mistakes, and it's life or death. President Trump, I watch it every day, he has your back. At the Department of War, we have your back. And so we came all this way to reestablish those alliances, make sure adversaries understand how strong we are, and that we can project power on beautiful platforms like this, but I came out to encourage you and thank you and recognize to the American people everywhere what a special role you play in this 250 years of the American experiment. We're not here without men and women like you. And if we produce men and women like you, we have 250 more years of this great country and of this great alliance. That's our job, is to pass it to the next generation. Man, look at those stars and stripes right there. That's what it's all about. That's what we're defending. Those freedoms and those Americans back home who cherish that peace and that prosperity and those basic freedoms. That's what we defend. That's what makes America so different. We don't fight because we hate what's in front of us. We fight because we love what's behind us. We love the freedoms that we cherish. And you're the reason we have them. So thank you for everything you do. God bless you. Call your parents and thank them, will you? They instilled in you the values to do something big, to do something special, to test yourself. And for that, I'm grateful. God bless you. God bless the USS George Washington, and God bless our great republic. Thank you very much. Before we conclude here, we get a chance to do a re-enlistment. Let me tell you this. I don't know the stats of all the services. I don't. But all I know is in the first week of October, the Marine Corps met its re-enlistment in the first week for all of the entire year. Oh, we got some Marines out there. Loud, huh? All of the other services will soon meet those same goals. And as a leader, re-enlistment, I think, is the ultimate validation that we continue to be committed and we appreciate the leadership inside those ranks. So it's a testament to the leadership here and hopefully the tone that we're setting. So join us as we get a chance of giving the oath of enlistment to this fine crowd.
What's up, Joe?
And now I'm out of here. Except for President Trump, he's still coming.
Big Trump on the way, though. Thank y'all for tapping in. It's about 1:30 in the morning. Well, we had to get to some fodder, some good political fodder before we, see the president come on stage. But thank y'all for tapping in. If you were on the first stream, we were streaming for about an hour. 10, 15 minutes. All of a sudden, we just lost connection to YouTube. I had to reset the stream key and some other shit. So technical difficulties tend to happen. But you know, it's one of those things. But appreciate all y'all tapping in, waiting on President Trump to get here. We've covered a lot tonight, from Kamala Harris, Jasmine Crockett. Kamala Harris says she's running for office. Amazon cutting 30,000 jobs. Target losing 1,000 jobs. Even earlier today, we streamed talking about the North Carolina redistricting. A lot of things happening in the world, but waiting on the good president to tap in. Let's see what's happening on the ground here. Just playing some good old music, and I'm muting it because I'm monetized on YouTube. And the last time I just had the music run, they demonetized the whole damn video for like 3 hours that I had. And I say, you know what? Never again. Fooled me once, shame on you. Fooled me twice, shame on me. So I'm not gonna be playing that all willy-nilly, waiting on Big Trump to get in the background. But what I will do is find something else for us to indulge in till we get there. Okay? Now, Tim Wall spoke earlier, but that's about 30 minutes. I don't think it's going to take Trump that long to get on stage. Let me find something good while we wait on Big Trump to. I'm not even. I see some news out here that I could cover, but I'm not. I did Zorhan Mamdani earlier. I'm gonna pull up this Rachel Meadows. I don't do MSNBC, to be fair, but I need to fill the gap in here, right? So I'll watch for Trump on the back end. We'll watch Rachel Meadows live here. It's only 6 minutes. Hopefully Trump will be on stage, and I'll be able to cut her off and
system or against
couple mans up from there.
Authoritarian leader. I mean, I don't think it can be overstated that one of the reasons protest is important is because it can keep you sane. But also, I mean, generally speaking, when it comes to your rights, use them or lose them. Any authoritarian worth his inevitably weird hairdo would love to extinguish your right to protest, your right to free speech, your right to free assembly. It is harder to take those rights away from free people when free people regularly exercise those rights. But strategically, protesting is also important against authoritarianism, even if the authoritarian himself doesn't care about what the protests and the protesters are doing. It's important still because authoritarian leaders like to present themselves as all-powerful, right? They like to present themselves as strongmen who have all the power they want or need. They can do anything they want. But strongmen leaders alone don't have that much power at all, particularly in a system like ours, which is historically a democracy and is only right now in the process of consolidating into a would-be authoritarian state at the hands of a would-be dictator, right? We're still in the process here. Nothing is inevitable. The American people and institutions in this country get a say into how far he's going to be able to go. And sometimes protest is the most important lever in determining what institutions and powerful people themselves are willing to do, regardless of what Trump wants. I will say, for example, it's not within Trump's power to remove a late-night comedian from the air for criticizing him. Right? Trump can't do that unilaterally. He needs the company that employs that comedian. He needs the other companies involved in that business to effectively act for him once he starts complaining about that comedian and saying that guy ought to not be on the air. When Trump pressures companies to do his bidding in a case like that, oftentimes those companies will just cave and do what Trump tells them to do. But oftentimes, those companies will also be susceptible to pressure from the people to not do what Trump wants. Also, Trump's chaotic, lawless deportation spree, right? He can't do it alone. Trump tried at first doing it all with military planes. Remember how hilarious that was? He had like huge C-17 cargo planes. Those can carry 77 tons of troops and equipment. And Trump was flying C-17s around with like 5 people on board in the back because he thought that would look tough. dude, we're paying for that plane. You got 5 guys on board.
What is Rachel Maddow?
No, he needs contract.
See, she is the one reason why I stopped watching MSNBC, because it's like, bro, what is this liberal rant that the fuck you're on? Right? Still waiting on Trump. Trump hasn't hit the stage yet. To be fair, I'm watching it for y'all. So Trump hasn't hit the stage yet, right? But bruh, I just don't understand. These liberals be on Rachel Maddow nuts hard, but motherfucker just crazy. Let me just exit out of that. I don't even want to see that. Let's go back to Gavin Newsom. He sat down with CNN a little while ago, talking about his 2028 plans. Man, I'd rather hear him than her crazy batshit ass.
The governor of California, Governor Gavin Newsom, welcome to The Story Is.
The Story Is. The Story Is your first show. I'm honored to be here.
First guest, first show, new digs.
It's not screwed up. These are, by the way, this is next level impressive. Eat your heart out, East Coast. I'm just saying.
Yeah, what is the value of a West Coast-based show?
I mean, come on, we exist, and not just persist. I mean, there is, I don't want to, I don't want to get in trouble here, but there tends to be a little bit of bias at times.
A lot of bias.
All right, thank you. And so it's nice to try to rebalance that, particularly in a state where the future is happening first. And I say that with a point of pride. It's pretty obvious in AI and quantum and fusion and so many different areas. But no, I think it's fabulous, and congratulations.
Thank you very much. So let's start with what I'm sure is going to be your favorite question. The other day I was talking with former Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg.
Yes.
I asked him this question this way. You're thinking about running for president, right? I mean, is that fair to say? You're thinking about it?
I mean, I'm a long way from any kind of decision, but obviously it's not like it hasn't come up.
Pete, the mayor?
Okay, so question to you. You're thinking about running for president, right?
No, I mean, it's come up. I don't want to
quite a lot.
No,
right?
no. I mean, people talk about it, and you'd be lying if you haven't thought about or processed it. But that said, quite literally, I'm making the case. That's why I have this initiative, Prop 50. There may not be a 2028 election that's free and fair. So my focus is central to getting over the hump in November 4th of this year, and then working on 2026 in the midterm re-elections. But look, when people, particularly people that have run before, et cetera, everybody knows the politician, the response, the kabuki. Well, I'm just focusing on my day job, and we'll see where things go. So I tried to be a little more honest about it, and people ran with it over.
But to that point, for many years, you've said to me and several other people that you had sub-zero interest in running, and that how many ways can I say no? So has something changed?
Yeah, everything's changed. Everything changed here in LA. You were part of it. You saw it with the federalization of the National Guard. I just think we're on the other side of something radically different, not marginally different. Everything has changed in terms of my mindset, my focus, my energy, my perspective on the world we're living in, Trump and Trumpism, what he represents, and how serious and precious this moment is. So, no, from that perspective, legitimately, I've changed. This country is changing, and I'm calling it out. And I just feel like we have a responsibility to be a little bit more clear and concise and precise in terms of our efforts.
So what is the thought process in terms of thinking about the presidential run, and why would you potentially not run?
Because it's literally, truly, that's so, it is now I'm getting into the frame where sincerely I haven't thought about it beyond just a few people bringing things up and talking about the future of this country. Look, my focus is on the essential nature of calling out what Trump is doing in real time, the shock and awe, and how it's become more and more normalized and socialized.
Do you think that calling Trump out on all the shit he's doing is actually working? I mean, it's creating a narrative. I personally don't see it working yet. My 2 cents.
Things that are complete deviancies from normalcy, they have to be called out with some firmness and much more aggressiveness. And so, look, that's my contribution to the moment. To the extent that contribution adds value to that conversation, that's for another time. But right now, my focus is on the time I have between now and November 4th in winning Proposition 50.
So past the midterms before you even think about the other stuff.
I mean, I don't even, the whole idea is so absurd to me in so many different respects, because this is not, it was never on my bingo card. I didn't grow up saying, one day I'll be this person. There's not a photo on the wall of me
there
meeting
are people
someone.
that think that you were that way back in the day.
I think there's well, that's a whole deeper conversation of of perception versus reality. And I have a lot of work to do on that. And I'm going to be doing a little more of that with this book. And now it sounds like, oh, here, he's got a book. Of course he's running. Yeah. But truly, I've got a book that I'm putting out next year, early next year, that I've been working on for 4 or 5 years, because I can't take the perception of me versus the reality of what I experienced growing up and in my own childhood and my own experiences. So I'm trying to shape-shift that from my perspective, not everyone else's.
What's the biggest misconception about you?
I just think this notion, I don't know where, I know where it comes from, but I think this notion of the silver spoon, I was born into great wealth and privilege, and it's quite the contrary. And I'm not trying to, it's not a racial algebra story. I'm not trying to over-romanticize a contra narrative, but it's remarkable how that perception has dominated so much of the conversation that even my friends have about me. They don't know much about me. And so just for the record, setting it straight for my kids and grandkids, I'm going to be pushing back in that respect.
Sounds kind of
I mean, you've spent most of your childhood with a single mother who was, struggled economically, had foster family. A different experience than the way a lot of people think about you.
And my mom was 19, 20 when she was pregnant with me. A few years later, she was separated with 2 kids, and she just hustled and make ends meet. She had 2, 3 jobs all her life, and it was just hard work and grit. And I was proud of that. My dad was struggling for those early years. He was sort of broken, he said, and broke. He attempted to run for elected office. It was one of the reasons my mom never wanted to see me sitting here with you as governor of California or even as former mayor of San Francisco. She never wanted that path that my father went on to be my path, because it had broken him in many respects. So I'm sober about all of this in the context of the humility and grace that I'm sitting here, that we're here, the contributions she made, the sacrifices she made for me. I lost her almost 20 plus years ago to breast cancer. I lost my father as well, and I'm proud of them both. But again, that story isn't necessarily present. It may not be a story anyone gives a damn about, but it's important to me. And as I said, I got 4 kids. I hope it's important to them.
Let's talk about what's happening now. This is the first TV interview you've done since the Department of Justice announced that they're going to be sending election monitors into California to monitor what's happening with the Prop 50 election. It's a statewide election, not a federal election. Why do you think they're doing that?
Well, it's a pattern of practice. They're doing it as part of an intimidation strategy. They're trying to suppress the vote. They're trying to chill the freedom of speech. We've seen that with this private police force, these increasing encroachment in terms of our civil liberties, no due process, people with masks jumping out of unmarked cars. We're seeing that in terms of the federalization, the militarization of American cities with troops. It is part of practice from this administration. They have no business being here. They have no basis being here for exactly the reasons you framed. It's a statewide election for a statewide constitutional amendment. And so there's no pattern of practice in the past of violations of the Voting Rights Act, and all of a sudden now they seem to be champions of the Voting Rights Act, quite curiously in some of the most diverse districts in this state at a particular curious and important time in American history, not just California history.
Obviously 2024 was a federal election, but the Biden administration said DOJ monitors to 87 different jurisdictions in that election. The California GOP put up this onto X, saying, Governor, if there's nothing to hide or nothing wrong, why the concern in having the DOJ observe? What's wrong with transparency?
Well, let's transparency. Let's have the transparency what went into their request, allegedly, of the Department of Justice, the state GOP, and why they picked these particular 5 counties. And what allegations or what assertions and on what basis of fact are they asserting that there's been violations in the past? Why these counties? Why now? Why a statewide election? Very different than other federal elections or elections with candidates on the ballot. This is, again, a proposition. Good people can disagree. They'll be accommodated as everyone should be accommodated. They'll have determinations at the county level with the registrars to the extent they want to cooperate. That's up to them. I'm just arguing for people to keep their eyes wide open at what's going on in the United States of America. I said this months and months ago. What's happening in LA, what's happened in California is a preview of things to come. Watch this space with the DOJ. This is all teed up 2026. Donald Trump does not believe in fair and free elections. He's trying to rig the 2026 election in plain and open sight, and that is obvious to anyone that's paying attention, and he's just winding up.
So let's talk about Prop 50, because that is a lot of what you're thinking about here. So background for Prop 50 that people haven't been paying that close attention to this. President Trump says to the governor of Texas that he would like to have 5 Republican seats in Texas. They redraw the congressional map there. California Democrats say, if you're going to do that, we should redraw our map to have 5 Democratic seats here. There's now a proposition to get rid of independent redistricting commission until 2031 in order to create a new map that will probably help the Democrats. There are some people that say 2 wrongs don't make a right. Why are they wrong?
Well, look, let's go back. What you said was perfectly accurate, but you missed one key distinction. Donald Trump said he, quote unquote, was entitled. That should send a chill. Everyone watching, Democrats, Republicans, he said he was entitled to 5 seats. That's exactly what Greg Abbott and the legislature did in Texas. They didn't stop there. They're in Missouri. They're now moving in Indiana with a special session. They just redistricted North Carolina. And obviously Ron DeSantis is going to get into this. These guys are not screwing around. They're ruthless. They're trying to rig the election before one vote is cast. What they expected us to do was cast aspersions, maybe write an op-ed. Maybe have a candlelight vigil, walk the streets, talk about the way the world should be, maybe try to win the argument. As
like a No Kings protest? Oh, jab.
They're consolidating power. They did not expect us to come up with a strategy to counterbalance things so that we can rebalance and have a chance, have this country have a chance of holding our republic and democracy so we can actually celebrate the 250th anniversary as opposed to tearing down these enduring values of our founding fathers.
Again, the biggest problem there, if you've heard this stream and others, is a simple fact of there are not enough Democratic states, not enough Democratic legislatures and governors to offset and do what Gavin Newsom is doing. California is a Democrats, liberals only hope. And I checked some of the polling. The polling's coming back good, plus 15 right now. So there's a good chance it's going to pass, right? However, there's also a point of saying playing too early, because Missouri and Florida doesn't go until January. So really, even with our committee weeks here, we have like 4 committee weeks left before Thanksgiving and Christmas. We could easily start this conversation, but I think we're waiting on the Louisiana versus Calais ruling before Florida starts redrawing their maps, because I think Max Frost, Sheila McCormick may be gone in a redistricting if they say that they don't have to draw race-based maps. Now, I'm going to check back in with Trump. Now, listen, hey, I'll get in with the best of them. I'm going to skip forward. Now, y'all see. They still playing music. It's a little choppy. Listen, I don't know what time it is in Japan, but Trump got till 2 a.m. to get on the screen fucking with me. Then I'm going to log off after that. Like, listen, Mr. President, I'll catch you on the next one, because there's going to be some other shit happening later this week anyway. So if I miss you here, I'm going to catch you there. Let me see if I can get Hakeem Jeffries in real quick while we wait on our President Trump.
Good afternoon, everyone. We just completed a very candid, fruitful, forward-looking meeting with Senator Lakeisha Collins, the chair of the overall Illinois Black Legislative Caucus, and several distinguished members, along with the African-American members of the congressional delegation here in Illinois. It is a very challenging time for our country. The extreme policies that Donald Trump and Republicans have unleashed on Chicagoland, the state of Illinois, and America are crushing people all across the land. Republicans have enacted the largest cut to Medicaid in American history. They've ripped food out of the mouths of children, seniors, veterans, women, and families by also enacting the largest cut to nutritional assistance, $186 billion in American history. And all of this was done so that Republicans could reward their billionaire donors with massive tax breaks that they made permanent. Republicans have shut down the government because they are unwilling to provide affordable health care to the American people. Hospitals, nursing homes, and community-based health centers across the country are at risk of closing, including here in Illinois.
He didn't know where he was. He didn't know where he was. I know where I'm at. I'm in Florida, waiting on Trump in Japan, and we're going to check it again. My man's still not on stage, but I have a long day tomorrow. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm not going to sit around here and wait. I'm going to go to AP, Associated Press, watch Trump speak. I try to get some good clips from it. See what the president was going to say at 2 a.m., but I guess I'm going to log off before he gets there because I have real work to do. Again, I have to fight some environmentalists tomorrow. I'm going to make some content. I've already thought about it. You know, they say that if you're going to make content, you need to think it out. So I've been thinking about the thumbnail and the title, and it's going to be simple: a day in the life of a lobbyist, or a day in the life of a lobbyist. I don't know yet, but I'm going to create that as I go down to Dania Beach tomorrow, testify against these tree huggers in this good old fight I have against some environmentalists over some mangroves. Right? I know some people love mangroves, what it is, but thank y'all for tapping in on the stream tonight. We've ended up having 2 separate streams. The first one, I think I got the numbers on the first one. Hold on, let me check. How do we do on the first one? Is it still live? Hold on. We didn't get all the numbers on that one yet. They had a couple thousand. This one's about 7,400. I appreciate all y'all tapping in. I'm gonna just double check one more time to see if Trump is there. Is Trump on stage yet? Wait a minute. Somebody walked on stage. They're checking mics. They're checking mics, y'all. Hold on. They're checking mics. That means Big Trump on. Big Trump on. I'm gonna take a smoke break. We're gonna listen to Big Trump. I guess I ain't going nowhere. You see Big Trump out here. They're checking mics. They're checking mics to Big Trump, man. Yeah, we've had those 7,400 people tap in since we had some technical difficulties. You know what I'm saying? So now, let me double check. Are they speaking? No, see, they're trying to get that music banned. That's why I had this muted. Because Trump be playing this music and be demonetizing my videos, and I'll be damned. Okay? I will be hot damned. Let's go back to Hakeem Jeffries' ass. Where's Hakeem? Hakeem. That's not. Hold on. Wait. This Hakeem.
In rural parts of the state and throughout America, Republicans refuse to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits, which means that tens of millions of people, including many here in the great state of Illinois, are going to see their premiums, co-pays, and deductibles skyrocket. In some instances, increase by $1,000 to $2,000 per year. Republicans have unleashed a parade of extremism and horribles on the American people, including unleashing masked ICE agents to target in the most extreme fashion here in Chicagoland and throughout the country law-abiding immigrant families. It's completely and totally unacceptable, unsustainable, and un-American. On top of all of that, Donald Trump and Republicans have decided that they were going to try to gerrymander congressional maps all across the country as part of their effort to rig the midterm elections and deny the American people the ability to decide who should hold the gavels in the aftermath of the elections that will take place in November of 2026. Democrats have made clear that we are going to respond, as is being done in California right now, appropriately, immediately, and forcefully, to ensure that the national congressional map is as fair as it can possibly be, so that we allow for free and fair elections and the American people can decide, not Donald Trump, who should represent them in Congress after November of 2026. Questions?
Leader Jeffries, you're here, there's a lawsuit in New York, there's action and discussions in Colorado. What is the sudden urgency? Why right now?
Well, Donald Trump has unleashed this unprecedented gerrymandering on the country. We've never seen anything like this. And of course, it started in Texas, where they tried to rip 5 seats away from the people of that great state. Then it continued from Texas to Missouri, where they ripped a seat away, broke Kansas City up into fragments. Then they went into North Carolina, which is a state that Republicans have already gerrymandered, and they're ripping a seat away from an African-American, Don Davis, who has held that seat over the last few cycles, and they've destroyed it. The governor of Indiana just called a special session so that they can try to take an additional seat or 2 from the people of Indiana as early as next week. And then we know that thereafter they want to go into Ohio and Florida and beyond. This is unprecedented stuff to undermine the ability of the American people to participate in a free and fair election, which is why Democrats, on behalf of the American people, need to respond decisively.
Leader, what about the concerns?
He's a Democratic leader. So you need to respond decisively. Like, I just want to cry from frustration for nobody slapping the shit out of Hakeem Jeffries' weak ass right now. Like, bruh, there's no Democrat in the House that want to slap the shit out of this weak ass nigga. Like, what are we doing? Can we please, somebody in Congress, because I can't do it, I'm a citizen. Somebody slap the shit out of this guy. You're the leader of the Democrats talking bullshit. Please shut the fuck up. My God, he's annoying.
The folks standing around you right now have, that it might dilute the black vote.
We are completely and totally committed to making sure that African American representation and Latino representation in the great state of Illinois is preserved, so that those communities of color can continue to elect the candidates of their choice. Republicans are the ones who are breaking up black and Latino districts all across the country. That's what they did in Texas, and that's what they're continuing to do throughout the nation. We are committed to making sure that representation is preserved in districts currently held by African Americans and Latinos. And let me just acknowledge, of course.
So what happens is Chicago sanctuary city, that Trump done deploy these people to this, whatever, right? Cool. So now all the Democrats have said, you know what? We're going to go to Chicago and Illinois to support the mayor and the governor in this fight against Trump. Now, mind you, the Democrats didn't show up to Chicago when 70-something people were shot or killed in one single weekend, Labor Day weekend. They didn't give a shit about that. I think it was Memorial Day, whichever one was last, right? They didn't care about nothing regarding educational or the union, teachers, none of that shit. But the second Trump decided to deploy motherfucking National Guard and the rest of the shit happened in Chicago, they done deployed. So now Illinois, like you know, a Democratic state, they're fighting back for a redistricting fight too. And at the end of the day, I think both parties fucking up. Trump forcing their hand, Democrats doing it, but y'all ain't gonna have enough. They're not gonna have enough states.
Of course, we've got the dean of the delegation, Danny Davis. We've got Robin Kelly, my sister, who we came into Congress together. Of course, Lauren Underwood, who's doing an incredible job as well, who helped flip a seat in 2018, and Jonathan Jackson, the newest member of the CBC Illinois delegation, who's off to a great start. So I'm sorry, right there.
I was just going to say, are you looking to get one additional seat here in Illinois?
The map is going to be for the legislature and the governor to decide. And it's our hope that those conversations will intensify this week in Springfield, Illinois.
But why no conversation with the governor beforehand? Apparently he's saying...
I've had conversations with Governor Pritzker, and Governor Pritzker has said publicly that all options are on the table, and that's what we believe, that all options should continue to be on the table, certainly here in the great state of Illinois.
Are you going to Springfield? Look for the map to be drawn in a way that you could get 2 or even 3 seats.
Those are those are decisions that, of course, are going to have to be made by the legislature in partnership with the governor.
And I just can't deal with Hakeem Jeffries' weak ass. Now listen, Hegseth got off stage a solid 20 minutes ago. Solid 30 minutes ago. I'm looking at it now. 32 minutes ago. That was about 128, man. Listen, Trump is across the world. He don't give a damn about us right now, dog. Trump don't care about being on time. Okay? So, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna wrap up. I gotta sign out. I got a long day tomorrow. It's gonna be a long couple of days. I'll be back tomorrow night. No, not Tuesday night. Wednesday night, I'll be back 9 o'clock as we prepare for the election night, Prop 50 night in America, election night in America next Tuesday, November 4th. It's gonna be a great night, a great stream. We're gonna start early. Polls close at 7. We probably be start streaming at 6:30. And we're gonna go to about midnight. And hopefully people can tap in. We can do some reviews. I'm gonna give my dog Feast of the Great on the stream. You feel me? But I try to be patient for Trump, try to wait. He didn't have no patience for us. But either way, thank y'all for tapping in. We've had over 9,134 people on the stream today. Listen, I appreciate every single one of y'all. And just remember,
all I ask is when you lay your head on that pillow at night, you know I gave you everything I had.
God gave you everything I got. I appreciate every single one of y'all. We picked up a lot of subscribers today. We passed over 7,500 the other day. And tonight we were at roughly, got to put it up on the 7,600 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button at the top. I think I made a little advert for you. Yeah. You see that up at the top? Like and subscribe for better content. Go and hit that. Or guess what? You can help us reach our sub goal of 10,000 before Christmas. Or one more thing, help us reach the sub goal before all of them. I've been working. We're going to get better content. Either way, thank y'all for tapping in. Y'all have a great night. I am out.